Dear fellow member of Vasudev Kutum, dear fellow wave on the ocean of your consciousness, today we shall embark on the 7th discourse in the series of experiences of Ganeshpuri in the early Sadhana series. Now, I was describing last time the routine that I experienced at the Ganeshpuri Ashram in the 70s, when I used to arrive on Friday evening just before the Aarti started, and the next day I described how we had a 40-minute Aarti at about 4:10. We had a 1.5 hour Guru Gita program starting at 5:30 to 7, breakfast at 7, and that's why we had got in our last discourse. After breakfast at 8 o'clock started the most significant program of the day. Significant in the sense that it's one of the two, it is in fact the most important aspect of sadhana one practices anywhere, but especially in the Ganeshpuri Ashram. That is seva. This is where we give back to the Guru all the rewards that we have experienced this morning in that atmosphere filled with his divine energy. We have washed ourselves twice, once with the Aarti, once with the Guru Gita, and now it is time to repay the Guru some of the, with gratitude, the rewards that we have received already as the day has started. So Guru Seva is done in a sense of great gratitude. It's done in a sense of great wanting to do things perfectly, to achieve perfection. Whether we are sweeping the lanes, whether we are working in the kitchen, whether we are looking after the bookshop, whether we are cleaning up the temples and looking after the Aarti in the temples and the programs in the temples, the music systems, whether we are, whatever the various departments that Ashram has. We will do it with a great sense of intensity, of passion, of love. This is how seva is done. It's an outpouring of love for the Guru, with gratitude for all that he has achieved in our lives. Lives which have been transformed completely by the presence of the Guru. Lives which are going nowhere suddenly become very purposeful lives, lived with joy and zestfulness. We find a meaning to life. There's something, a meaning to life. We experience, even at the lowest level of sadhana, some of the bliss, the happiness that saints experience. It's a very beautiful thing. Problems in our life cease to exist. Things which we could not solve are automatically solved. So long as we do that seva, and seva is that I call it the ground on which religion walks, the ground on which we walk. Seva, without seva there is nothing. And the earlier you start in the morning, the better off you are. Seva is the rita behind seva is that it exists for that day. It exists for that moment. The minute you have your next meal, the rewards of that seva is gone. So after every meal, a bit of seva is important. Now, seva can even be donation to the trust. A few rupees slipped into the donation box. Anything. It could be. So it's manifold. Seva is manifold, as we shall find out as we progress in our experiences of the Bhakti Yoga. So after breakfast, in the beginning, I was given seva, and as I said, there are a lot of trees in that ashram, and a lot of leaves which collect under trees. So I was cleaning all the leaves under trees in various parts of the ashram. And this continued for about 2-3 weeks until people found that I was very regular in my weekending from July 1975 onwards. I was being religiously coming every weekend, and that's when the secretary of the Ashram Trust, Sirish Bhai, again another second generation Muktanand devotee. He was a chartered accountant, and he was the secretary. He was looking after all the accounts of the ashram, and he suddenly found that there were a lot of new construction was going on, and he needed construction accounts. He needed to have established construction accounts for the construction activities that were going on, and so I was invited to help create new construction accounts for the ashram. And so began my the most rewarding in terms of lessons, spiritual lessons that I got sitting in the accounts office. That is part of a separate discourse, I think, because there I met Swami Madhavanand. The only other accountant there was lean young, well, he was about 40 years old at the time, sadhak called Murli. And that was Swami Madhavanand's name when he came to the ashram. And he was in the last stages of his sadhana. He was the only person there who I've seen practice spiritual rocketry, do sadhana perfectly. Every moment of every day lived perfectly and in utter silence. And he could have lived in a Himalayan cave for what interest he took in events around him in the ashram. Anyway, that is part of another discourse. It was the most, in terms of lessons, in terms of teachings imbibed, the most significant part of my experiences with Siddha Yoga and with Ganeshpuri. Anyway, that is part of another discourse. So seva is done from about 8 o'clock to 11:30. 11:30 there is a program, the pre-lunch program starts in the temple, where we chant Om Namaha Shivaya. Chant this for about 15-20 minutes, and there's a 10-minute arti, and without the conch shells or the gongs. And lunch program starts at 12 noon. And as I said, as we as we queue up for lunch, as we queue up to enter the dining hall, as we enter the dining hall, as we sit waiting for sevaks to put food on the pattas, we chant Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. And lunch is usually finishes by about 12:30, and then there's free time until the next program of the day, which is at 2:30, 2:10, 10 past 2 in the afternoon. We have the second part of our program, the next part of our program, which is the Vishnu Sahasranam, the chanting of the 1,000 names of Vishnu in the temple. And this is really to wake us up. Most people after lunch go to their bedrooms or their dormitories, have a rest period for some time, work off that lunch, and so one is not meant to sit, one is not meant to sleep immediately after lunch, but say for some time, or a little nap, sometime in that period from say 12:30 to 2:10, it is wise to have a small rest for say half an hour, lying in your bed. It helps recover from lunch also. For those who are advanced seekers, nod, they experience nod. Nod immediately brings them back to the same level of consciousness they had before their meal. Enough for today. Thank you for listening.